There we go. I think you can hear Daniel now. What's up,
Let's
everybody?
see. Hello.
Yeah,
Hi. Let's just give it a second here to check and see
yeah.
if the
Those
people are getting what they want.
those
Hello,
super
everyone.
sweet, super sweet green bars are firing away, so I'm pretty sure we're good.
Fingers
Yeah, you
crossed.
were absolutely right. It was Zoom. It was Zoom sending my audio directly to my speaker or to my headset and not to my computer, and therefore it was not getting recorded.
All right. Well, there we go. So yeah, what have I been doing? Well, as I said, though you didn't hear it, chat. Hello. I've been playing Warhammer Total War. Uh, I played it when it
Turtle
first came
War.
out.
I would
Turtle
play.
War.
I would play Warhammer Turtle Wars.
Warhammer Turtle War, everybody.
War,
Hello.
War,
Well,
Warhammer Turtle Wars Warriors Shell. Yeah, I would play that game.
I would absolutely take that. Holy hell, that would be so good. No, so I started playing it, and my favorite Warhammer faction, if you don't know, is Chaos. Specifically, I have a hard on for Singe and Nurgle. But anyway, I love Chaos Warriors, but I didn't pay for the DLC when they came out. I was actually a bit miffed that it was a DLC at all, because I'm like, how do you make a Warhammer game and don't include like the
Chaos.
biggest scare faction in the game, right? Like it's. But anyway, so I sat down, I bought the thing, I decided I wanted to try and play it. First 40 turns or something, kind of tricksy, right? Like not particularly hard, but okay, tricksy. Then 60 turns in, I was over 100,000 favor, and it never dipped under that. And I was just like, this game doesn't matter anymore. I had fucking Archeon, the Ever Chosen, walking around with a stack of only Chosen, and I wasn't even dipping into my reserves. Just like auto resolve, auto resolve, auto resolve. This is too easy. Auto resolve.
So the
Got
game was
Cole.
super. So it's
Yeah,
super easy.
really easy for some reason. And it says like Chaos is supposed to be really hard, at least to begin with, apparently, but wasn't. Got out like the two legendary heroes, like Kolek Sun Eater and Sigvald the Magnificent, and just like stacked them up with Marauders and sent them in to bludgeon up the enemies. Then went in with Archeon, his chosen, wiped the floor with everyone.
So
And
would you recommend getting that game or no?
it's a good game if you're interested in like generally total war games. It plays better than many total war games. Like the way the game is designed, the way you play with it, the movement options and so on. Like it plays more smoothly than many total war games before it. If you come
Okay.
from a background of medieval total war, this will feel like an entirely new planet you've arrived on. Be like, what is this
Ah,
alien technology? But there is the new Total War, Warhammer 2 Total War coming out now that has the High Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and Skaven coming up, which is going to be great fun. Stab, stab, cut, slice, and all
Apparently,
that
the
jazz.
Skaven are really cool. I've heard some reviewers talking about them.
Skaven are a fucking amazing faction. Like the most high tech faction in the old world, and also like the most whatever sacrifice anyone kind of faction. So great fun. But yeah, once you reach a certain point with Chaos, the game plays itself. Like once I had like 3 stacks of just like Chosen and Dragon Ogres walking through the game, it
yeah.
wasn't even I wasn't playing it anymore. It's just like, okay,
Um,
how many turns are gonna pass before I win?
yeah. Okay. So this is right. So the original Warhammer, like the original Total War Warhammer, came out 18 months ago,
Yeah,
and they've already churned out a Total Warhammer 2. Wow.
yeah.
All
So
right.
apparently, a thing they're gonna do with this new one is now I'm gonna completely misremember this, but the general
What?
objective of the game is gonna change. So instead of being like, here are some objectives that your faction have to complete and then you win the game, everyone is now going to try and do something or other with the Maelstrom, which is the big butthole of chaos
Yeah.
farting badness onto the world. And so you can be like, I'm the ruler of the old world. I have built a giant empire of nothing. It is glory. It was built from ashes and has come to surmount the planet itself. And then, like, your little enemy faction can just sneak in and finish their Maelstrom objective and be like, I won the game. Fuck you. Because you weren't paying attention.
Perfect.
So that's apparently a thing now.
Speaking of not paying attention, Sam.
I'm paying attention to the chat, okay?
Yeah.
I'm good. I haven't done much. I streamed.
Talk about all the
once since-
games. Talk about all the games you
Oh.
played. You're telling us all these games.
I played. Let's see. I played one-on-one Burning Wheel last week, which was awesome. Thanks to Q Chen if you're watching this. because I had a great time with that. I've been playing. I got back into Dead Cells a little bit because there was a new release, new patch for that. That game is still super fun and super infuriating. I tried to play the A Song of Ice and Fire hack for Mountain Blade and shipped my army to Dragonstone with all of my money and then got literally stuck on Dragonstone because there was no one to get missions from and I couldn't get enough money to get back to the mainland.
So you got
happy.
The graveyard of empires.
I would say go watch that stream, but I found out that I was dropping like 1 million frames, so I was trying to figure that out. I think it's just because I think I may have
streaming
fixed it,
is
but I'm gonna
freaking magic and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't really know, but that was a thing. And then yesterday I played Shadows of the Demon Lord, where I randomly generated the most disgusting wizard goblin of all time. So that was good. It's good.
Yeah, that sounds like a really fun game.
Randomly generated traits are awesome.
I've been reading. I got back into reading again. I just finished since the last time we played. I read the first book of the Black Company. I've read 3 stories of Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, and now I'm back to reading the second book of the Black Company now.
Nice.
So I'm like deep in that stuff. Man, I've never read I literally missed all of the Lankmar stuff. I've never read it before. This is my first time going into it, and I was like, holy shit, this is like completely Blades in the Dark. Obviously, it's very like Swords and Sorcery, Blades in the Dark, but like this is Blades in the Dark. I totally get it now. I totally get why this is such a huge inspiration for John. All of this shit about going against the Thieves Guilds and stuff is like, oh, look at this weird black soot death mist. Yeah, okay, that's going in my next Duskfall. You know, like it's super good. But anyways, let's start considering about doing this game. I know we have people in chat asking about if you like Shadows of the Demon Lord, Sam.
Oh yeah, it's we created characters and then played for like an hour. So we like basically just did like an intro scenario, but the character creation is awesome, and the Bane boon system is very cool, which is essentially like kind of like advantage or disadvantage. And I mean, it definitely is like very OSR in that kind of like if you've played a D20 game and your GM has read like any amount of the book, it's not like really hard to catch on. But yeah, I'm excited to keep playing. So I'll give a more thorough recap when I've gotten a little more of the game under my belt.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear about it because I have ideas about 5th edition and I'm looking to steal from other systems if they're good, but mostly just do a lot of like very bare minimum stuff. But
I saw your tweets about putting Peleus in the meat grinder recently.
Yeah, like, I am so
what if you bought a shield and it blocked one attack and then you were fucked?
Yeah, that's what shields do for me. So like I love this idea that I want to play D&D like a war game. And like you just got to level up these characters and you don't really care about them until they survive a couple things. It's like Dwarf Fortress. It's like who cares about your starting 7 until they do something, right? Until your woodcutter survives 3 goblin arrows and kills delivers the final blow to the first forgotten beast while he's like crippled and lost a leg. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like then all of a sudden you like adulate that person and make statues over him and make them king because they've just somehow they just cannot die. You know,
yeah, it's the XCOM arc too, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's XCOM. It's Darkest Dungeon. It's the continue.
Yeah, I was just like that arc of like, oh, all these like random characters, and then all of a sudden your ranger like slashes down and crits 2 aliens in a row, like dodges the 90% chance to be hit and makes it out. And you're just like,
I did the thing. I'm so emotionally invested in you right now. Then you get RNG'd and just like,
yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's the stuff that I want. I want that to feel like I want you guys to grow into liking those characters, and hopefully that's unique enough from a D&D perspective that people will like it. So, It'd be fun. But yeah, totally. Shields don't give armor class. All they do is at any point, even like retroactively, like as long as there's still like the action going on right now, you can choose to just negate one set of attacks on you. Like if you know, so if a lizard folk chucks a lizard man chucks a javelin at you and does 8 damage and kills you, you're like, not so fast. I'm gonna use my shield, and it goes poof, and your shield goes off, and I'm still alive. And yeah, but now you don't have a shield. So yeah, it's it's kind of like a get out of jail free card, which is good because there's going to be no death saves.
Okay.
So you got to earn death saves. You have to go save the god of fate and death if you want death saves. So,
reconsecrate the temple, mother.
Yeah. Well, mother. Boy, this is so great. I'm so happy to come back to playing Burning Crowns with 0 technical problems. Did Zoom just crash for me and everybody else? I'm still streaming though. I'm still streaming, but it's just Zoom. Hello?
Oh, it's back now.
That was the first... Was this the first time Zoom's taken a crap on us before?
Yeah, we've had pretty good luck with Zoom.
Holy crap. Far. Wow.
I thought it was me. I thought like Zoom crashed for me for a second. I was like, oh no.
Me too. Hey, it's up, run. Okay. All right. I think we're finally ready to get started.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Let's do some proper burning of crowns now. So, right. Anyone in chat? I'm gonna put exclamation point beliefs so you can follow along to what everyone else's beliefs are set at. And then let's go through real quick, describe what our beliefs are, and just read them aloud as well for everyone who just wants to listen.
I can go first because Daniel started with introductions.
Yeah.
I am, as always, playing the pious prophet, Sulius Aurelius. And my beliefs are: only the strong wall shelters humanity from the storm. Skywatch has been useless in regards to finding the weapons of the faith which I seek. I shall search in the Southland near Kurasuno for the location of these holy artifacts. Belief 2. Zidomir has turned his back on his oaths to his order, my brother, and me. Though as a man, I would like nothing more than to never see him again. As the Vicar of Abadar, I must see that he faces the justice of the order he betrayed.
The Vicar.
And belief 3, it seems clear to me that more of the untouchables beyond the healed can be brought into the Lord's light. I will endeavor to convince them that they have a place amongst the faithful, not one of ostracization, but of welcome. And my last belief, which is my zealotry belief, is at the dawn of time, Abadar laid forth the holy codex of laws and traditions that would govern the heavenly kingdoms for all eternity. We must follow the great reformers who glimpsed the edges of the lawmaker's holy order to perfect our wanting civilization. Despite the preparations I have made, I am not convinced that the House of Abadar prepares for war in earnest. I shall issue an edict rebuking those who still refuse to prepare for the end. And my instincts have stayed the same, but since we had a trait vote as the last time we played, and it's been a while, I'll go over those. So Sulius Aurelius has the character traits fanatic, devout, and infallible religious logic. Has the die traits mark of privilege, tonsured, vested, faithful, zealot, prophet, chosen one, exorcist, and aura of holiness. And the call on traits, incomprehensible diagnosis, and marked by Abadar.
Yeah. Yes, those are long beliefs, but they're nice.
Yeah, I have some long, mostly just the third one, the fourth one. But the other ones are not sure.
You just take a moment to appreciate that he leaves the Vicar of Abadar and comes back a saint, glowing with holy light. It's like, I have returned, fuckers.
Exactly, in angelic voices and heraldry. Yeah, but you're also a prophet, so I think it makes sense to have very verbose language. So
yeah,
it's kind of diegetic.
We'll see. I have some plans for how these new traits have changed Sulius Aurelius, so we'll get into that pretty soon.
Yes, literally aura of holiness. So okay, cool. And Mason.
Yeah, speaking of verbose, hi, I'm playing Mason, our sorceress character. Well, yeah, okay, so I'm playing Mason slash Ceres Rogarvia, actually, a dragon who is also a human. It's confusing. Watch the show. I have the following beliefs. Mine is the greatest trove of esoterica in all of Brevoy. I will research the Stolen Lands region so I know what troubles and opportunities the region presents. Mine is the greatest trove of esoterica in all of Brevoy is, of course, a reference to Skywatch, an enormous library. Mm-hmm. I will claim fate from the gods and deliver it to mortals. The gods seem none too pleased with my plans. I'd be flattered at their attention if it wasn't so annoying. I'll go to the Valley of Fire and acquire the weapon that even the gods fear, turning the tables to my side. And as the last member of the Nethesian Eye, I stand responsible where they no longer can. This ancient map contains elements that were not around back when it was created. It may well be the greatest treasure in Brevoy or any of the Northern Realms. I will make sure I can read and use the map to accomplish my own ends.
Yes.
And my new words, my new traits, or my traits, I guess, are arrogant, curious, risk taker, mysterious, suspicious, luminous eyes, carnivorous, and crown of horns. Furthermore, I have gifted, second sight, rat speaker, stubborn, tenacious, bookworm, artful dodger, ferocity, mesmerizing gaze, keen sight, and scintillating scales.
Yeah.
Very normal.
Which are also all of the tracks off my debut album.
I see. So I get the vibe, like, okay, we're dealing with like an EricVulgaris metal album, right? Because we have scintillating scales, mesmerizing gaze, ferocity. But
I mean,
what
my
is
favorite track is
doing on that?
Yeah, well, it goes along with Rat Speaker.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Bookworm and Rat Speaker, yeah. Pot and pan.
So, okay.
Oy.
Cool. So it's been a while since we played. I think the first thing I wanted to do was with Sulius. So you've come back, and since we don't have Swan today, I want to deal with you and the people and your faith a lot, and you have a lot of beliefs about that today. So I feel like we should kind of look at that starting off here a little bit, right?
Sure.
Or so kind of what I'm thinking here is did Zidimir walk back with you? Or on their way back with you?
No.
Yeah, he's staying with Mason, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I left in a huff carrying armor on my back. And I guess, I was basically going to let you decide whether or not I was going to face trouble on the road. But otherwise, I'm perfectly happy to just...
Do you march back through the cold rain stubbornly, or do you seek shelter?
No, I'm going. What fear does the Vicar of Abadar have from his own roads? And I'm also I think doing lots, I'm not disguising myself this time. And if I see, a farmer whose cart has a broken wheel, I'll go to help him. And so it maybe takes me a little longer than a month, because if I see people who need help, I'm going to stop and help them. If somebody's struggling to pull a carriage, I'll help them for a few miles, kind of thing.
So I kind of think people might be almost scared of you when they come to help you. And so I kind of let's just cut into one of those tiny scenes. So I want to see what that's like, right? So yeah, let's go with that example, right? Let's go with a farmer with an overturned cart, right? Trying to just transporting. This is getting into the fall, late fall, so it's harvesting stuff, right? So obviously they're bringing stuff down to maybe a town outside, a small little village outside of Restov, and so farmer and Zulius, right? And he kicks his cart, and he's like, "Damned thing. no, there's no way I'm going to make it in this blasted rain to Oakdale.
Yeah. So I think like we see Aurelius kind of like trudging down the road, and at first it's like just like this pinprick of light, and as he gets closer, what we realize is I've described a couple times like when Aurelius is doing miracles, it's kind of hard to tell whether his chain is like emanating light or if it's just like reflects the light in a weird way. That is no longer a question. There is this radiating glow of light that emanates from his chain, and all who are faithful and are within the light of his glow feel this sense of awe and peace. And as Aurelius approaches, he sort of stops at the side of the road and calls out to the farmer, and he will say, "Good farmer, it appears you are in need of assistance. Can we be of service?"
And he looks over at you. I feel like, does the rain hit you? Here's a question. Or does it just like fall around you? You know, like what does this holiness look like?
I think the rain like still like hits me.
Okay.
But I don't think we have like before, since Aurelius has been like doing a lot of traveling and hasn't had anyone to sharpen his razor for him, because normally Zidomir does that. In the past, we've seen him have like a bit of like wispy, nasty beard because he doesn't really grow much of a beard.
Yeah. This time.
But now he's just like totally clean shaven. His head is totally shaven as well. And you know, he's basically that's no longer something that we're seeing, and he's glowing this light. I think the rain still probably hits him, but it's probably like really, really weird because it's normally when you're out in the rain with somebody, it's like everything's in kind of cast in shadow.
Yeah.
And so I'm casting shadows, which I'm sure is a very weird looking thing in the rain.
And so yeah, I think the farmer is going to start off by like kind of denying your request because he's suspicious of people, especially along the road, and they'll say, "Oh no, it's no problem, sir. It's carry on. Thank you." He's gonna dismiss you.
I just like walk forward and like I'm guessing he's like trying to like pull the wagon up, and I just like start helping him.
Damn
and
thing.
I'll just be like, no one should fear being stuck on a lonely road in the dark and the rain. Places of
now
safety.
He's definitely scared.
Yeah. I'm just like, Abadar's roads were made so that people could travel with safety from place to place, from bastion of civilization to bastion of civilization. I cannot leave you here out in the rain alone.
Yeah.
How could I?
Oh, wait a second. So this is something that's important. You're wearing pilgrim's robes, right? Yeah, because like, so weird fact. I guess we should establish it. If you're traveling, and if you're traveling with religious pilgrim stuff like that, it's like doubly bad if you get attacked. It's like a way of being like, you know, it's the same reason why you wouldn't shoot at somebody wearing like the Red Cross stuff, right? In like a war or whatever. It's that kind of thing. Like you don't do that. And okay, so I think you're wearing the pilgrim's robe, so like they'll know that way. So contextually, he says like, it's like, your accent's strange, pilgrim. You're not a Rosslander.
No. The man Sulius Aurelius was born in New Svedven.
You're a long way from home, son.
Yes, but what fear has the hand of Abadar when walking through and upon the roads which he has given us the designs to build? Without the Lord, there is no road, and so upon the road I am safe.
the Lord gave... Let me ask you something. If the Lord gave us these roads, why is my wagon stuck in this hole?
He nods seriously and says, men and women all struggle. This is the nature of life. The gods give us the tools to build that which we need. But sometimes misfortune happens upon all of us. Even one such as myself is not blessed with constant success. It is not the way of things. I'm doing this the whole time. I'm like pulling on his wagon, like whether he's helping me or not. I'm like trying to do his job for him, essentially.
Okay, then let's do a quick little test for getting it unstuck, right?
Cool.
So this is probably a power test, right?
Sure. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I mean, obviously your intention is to unstuck the wagon. But yeah, but I don't think this is very difficult, right? Because the guy's helping you. So I think this is probably an ob 3.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult for me. Not gonna
It's
lie.
also in the rain, and it's... Oh, okay. Well...
No, I mean, what's failure look like?
I think failure is that the guy's going to... Oh, I would love it if they ask you more questions. You make it worse. Right? I think that's the consequence of failure, is that you make it worse.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. Oh, I've got a 6. Wait, what? Why did it roll 70? Oh shoot! I gotta re-roll that. I accidentally added 3 modifiers. That's my bad.
Yeah, that's fine. Just straight up re-roll it.
Okay, I fail.
Yeah, no chances to correct that. Yeah. Now I feel like the tire that was stuck in the mud is now, it disconnects from the axle, and now the cart like falls over, and the farmer curses, and obviously he's not blaming you for it. It's just luck, right?
Yeah, I think Aurelius
And so he
falls
says,
in the mud.
"What is the good? What does the civilized man, like God, say about this now?" Right?
He puts his hand on the shoulder of the farmer, and he says, "The God of civilization does not turn a blind eye on you, good farmer. Not all things happen as a success. Some stumbling blocks happen for a reason. Now, perhaps we can do more for you. I think..."
What can one man do for this?
There's not just one man. It is both of us here together. Only together can we build things greater than ourselves. This road was not laid by one man alone, nor the town we're headed to built by one hand. Come, we can do this. We can do this together. What is in your cart? Perhaps we can leave it behind. I will shoulder the burden and help you.
It's a giant... I mean, I think it's like rutabagas, right?
It's just a bunch of rutabagas. Okay.
Cabbages.
Cabbages. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't really have
it's
any skills to actually help this guy.
Yeah.
So I think what
Gonna do it anyways.
Aurelius always does when he is unable to do things with his own power, he will ask the god for help. And so he says, "Come, good farmer, perhaps the god is not turning such a blind eye as you think. When have you last prayed to the Lord Abadar for your good bounty? For I see that your harvest came in strong. Did you pray to him before you left to go on his roads, asking him for safe travel?"
Well, I thought about it, sir. He's like makes up a half-ass excuse, like, "Well, I was thinking about it, but never actually prayed." Right?
So Aurelius like takes his hands in his, and like holds them up and begins to say like the prayer of safe travel.
Mhm.
And then at the end, when like the prayer ends, he says, and though this man has forgotten at the proper time to make the proper obeisance to the Lord, we ask that he is not punished. We ask that his cart be made whole. And I will try to invoke the power of my faith.
Oh, to repair the cart and not haul all this stuff yourself?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to try to call on my faith to repair the cart.
Okay. I was like, oh, you're gonna like miracle open this hauling test. This works way better. Works for me. Okay. So
probably a minor miracle.
Yep, I was gonna say minor miracle.
Cool.
Basically repairing the wheel to the axle.
All right. I will roll my faith. I will use my staff to give my bonus. I got 3 points of persona. Do I want to spend any? I mean, I don't have a belief on the line, so probably not. Base off 5. Boom!
Look at that. Wow. Was that really? Yeah, you literally got all successes? No. Oh, no, you're open.
Because I have
you're
Grey
open.
Shade. No,
Yeah,
I also have Grey Shade, so those 3s are successes.
When you get more successes than you roll dice.
Yeah, you still got more successes than your rolled dice. Yep.
So I think like as he's saying this prayer,
nice.
The light from his chain grows like brighter and brighter and brighter until it's like nearly blinding. And then when the farmer can see once again, the wagon is like whole and just like sitting on the road in the rain.
Who are you? You know, he says.
This man is Sulius Aurelius, vicar of Abadar. And then he just walks down the road.
Cut to like an 80s title sequence of like a Miami sun descending and like a sax playing in the background. Like Sulius Aurelius, vicar of Abadar, and like a Cadillac pulls up in the front of the shop.
Yeah, awesome. Now, see, that's a cool opening scene. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was a cool little piece. Okay, Daniel, let's talk about you and your tower.
Yeah, my tower. Weird thing. Okay, so yeah, I am just full of questions about this monstrosity I have assumed control over. Let's start at the obvious. So when last we left, the tower was reconstructing itself to my whims.
Yes.
Reshaping in weird and amusing ways as per my wishes. So I figured the first thing we're going to do is, thank you, Sanada, assuming direct control. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, because I'm in a room that has a enormously impressive, seemingly magic map. It's probably also the best map I've ever seen of my home country, ever, and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 1,000-year-old map, though?
Yeah. So it's a really detailed 1,000-year-old map.
Yeah.
So like there are probably towns that are just not there.
So I'm curious about that. So like I'm imagining like
it's just like almost strictly geography. It's like almost strictly geographical.
Okay, cool. So
and topological, not like
yeah, that's fine. So there is a red ping on the map at the Tors of Lebanese.
Yes.
Using whatever means at my disposal, I want to find out what the fuck this map is and what this means. I'm in a giant library full of esoterica. Hopefully I will find some answers here. But like, if not, I'll just like flip open the dashboard and look for the manual. Like, I have to do something to figure out what this map is.
Yeah, right? You have to go to Stack Exchange and figure out the answer to your problem.
Precisely.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I feel like there's a pretty solid research roll, my friend, to find the answer here.
All right.
It shouldn't be too difficult. This should just be like an ob 3.
Okay. Let me get my character
Yeah.
needed for play.
Yeah. I feel like the consequences of failure here is that you have to do that. You know where it is, but you have to do some extra steps to get it.
All right. So, how about I fork? This is magic in nature, right?
The
The blinking map.
research?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to fork sorcery.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I would also like to fork read because I'm using it. It's central to what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And let's take our time doing it. And swing. Oh yeah, right. I succeed. That wound is gone by for a long time now.
Oh yeah, that's just a legacy weird. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Away you go, superficial wound.
Yes. Okay. Cool. So you're able to. Okay. So you took your time. So this is probably a couple days worth of effort.
All right.
Compiling, figuring out where things are, being like, why is this one tome labeled here and this other one labeled over here? And you're able to figure out that all of these blinking. Your question was exactly what is this red blinking light or the nature of the map?
Yeah, I wanna do the thing that says in my belief, right? I wanna figure out. Let's see, what did I call it? I will make sure I can read and use the map to.
Okay.
So I want to know, like, why is it blinking? What's the significance? How and how can I? Yeah, I wanna understand the thing so I can use it to my own ends.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so all of these lights around here are all references to other ruins, particularly to Cyclopean ruins, and I get from your best guess, and you realize that these ruins and these lights are more or less whether or not there's still energy or activity at these, like whether or not these ruins are active.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that's red is clearly like not good.
Not good as in firing on all cylinders or in running out of power?
Out of power.
Okay. So I want to, knowing that, I want to find out what this building is that is supposed to be in the Torso of Lebanese. There is clearly a Cyclopean construction there that is running out of power. I want to know what it is.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's an extra roll. I feel like that's just built into your research question here. These were cities or kingdoms.
Oh dear. Cool. And this particular one.
It has one word to it. It's a very simple name. Like all of these Cyclopean ruins have simple names. This one's named Var. Vaar.
Okay. The Cyclops city of Var. Very cool.
So the red light is a Cyclopean fill gas tank light?
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. or more like a life support light, right?
Yeah. On life support. All right. Cool. That was easy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you roll well.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm gonna just move along and then do the next thing I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna think on a new belief in the meantime. So while I'm doing research and so on, I would also like to like some days pass as I do this. I want to say like I'm not exclusively doing research, right? I'm mainly doing that, but I'm also interacting with Sidomir, like making sure he's okay, fostering my little disciple, right, in my weird manipulative witch dragon image.
Can we establish? I can't remember what the intent of your role was, because if I recall correctly, it was just to have him follow you, not to have him like you or
it wasn't
or like turn his back on. It was literally just like this is your way to like still fight against the apocalypse, right?
The intent was to make Sidomir like see the truth of my words, right? That he was not that he was being unappreciated, and it's not that you or Swan are bad. It's that his path is not your path. His path is one I can show him, and that he should be loyal to me so I can teach him the way of his own self. That kind of like bewitching nonsense, cult rhetoric.
I'm just kind of curious because I don't remember like the intent being about. Because he thought didn't he think you were like a crazy monster or something? Like I don't remember there being any intent like against him.
Oh no, that's like he had like all of these like you're a horrible weird monster person, and I got my intent in spite of all that, right? All of that made increased my obstacle by crazy.
Yeah, and you so succeeded. Yeah, and you kind of jungle booked him, you know. You kind of like bewitched him to be like, yeah, I know I'm an asshole, but I'm your one-way ticket to getting what you actually want. Right.
Basically, my question is like whether he's like doing this begrudgingly because that is his only ticket, or if it's like now he's like essentially
it's begrudging. No, it's totally it's begrudging. It's there's no other way, frankly, to him. At least that's also how Mason. Maybe there is, but like that's what Mason sold it as, right?
I reckon that, like that. Let's go with that. I don't actually remember what my intent was, but what I want this to be, like what I want to foster here and make the case, is that the reason he is following me and listening to me, hanging on my words and working my will, is because I am creating the the Sith apprentice space, not in the sense that I'm going to teach him jack shit, right? But in the sense that. Like, I am the font of wisdom by which he can elevate himself. He does not belong in the world that these people he looked up to saw for him, but he does belong, and it is in a world that I will create. So I'm fostering devotion to myself out of his devotion to me out of a need to improve himself as a person.
Got it. Okay.
So for as long as he has self-interest, right, like then it's like, I'm your go-to for perpetuating that self-interest and then create an evil spiral out of it.
Yeah. Okay. So how about your role play Zidamir for us, Sam, in this scene, right? So like I wanted let's zoom in on that. I want to see what it's like when you're trying to order Sir Zidamir, because I'm sure like what are you doing to lead Sir Zidamir to being like, so so I'm just waiting around while you're reading a bunch of books. What am I supposed to be doing, right? Like what advice are you imparting to Sir Zidamir right now? Why is he sticking around?
To set the scene, I think like throughout the whole 2 days, I mean, unless I think he still has an instinct about always training in his downtime. So he's probably just been like in some like empty hall of the tower where he's like maybe like set up like a kind of like a course or something, and he's like lifting rocks and swinging his axe and doing his thing.
Yep.
So nothing though about like philosophically improving?
So that's the case, right? Whenever he comes to me to ask for advice and like to speak to me about this thing that I'm offering him, I totally like buckle down for a moment and talk to him about who he is and like try and manipulate his philosophical outlook.
I'm not sure that he would come to you necessarily unless
that
you,
is
like,
that's kind of implied in the intent, right? Like in what we actually talked about.
I will teach you to do this thing. So like, yeah, I think it's implied as well.
Yeah,
that he would, but I get what you're saying. How about then? How about in order to get him to come to you, right? Like this is like the first imparting lesson of this is the right choice and of listening to you, right? So let's have that part, okay?
All right. What is the scene?
So Sir Zidamir wants to know why this is the right choice, right? Sir Zidamir needs to know. So you convinced him that you can help him achieve what he wants. That he can return to being the best knight and basically be able to follow what is in himself the whole time instead of just being a lackey for others. Like I feel like that was the big thing, right?
Yeah, that's
and
what it
so
is.
I feel like you need to instill with him the first sort of like sign and measurement of Like, here's your first lesson. This is why you made the right call listening to me, right? And so maybe Sam,
So
would it be
that's-
possible that Sir Zidimir is like doubting himself and being like, I made a mistake, and then, or could it be
his beliefs
I
and
know.
instincts considered, it seems likely he would.
I mean, yeah, he's probably like trying to like go rack his brain for what went wrong, right? It's like been this sort of like slow downward avalanche for the guy ever since he left his ancestral home to follow the prophet. Like it was like rising, and then starting with the whole like Raven situation has just been like cascading.
Things fell
downwards.
apart. Yeah. Yeah. So like more like mental, like what mental training are you giving this person? Right? What are you giving Sir Zidimir?
The chief lesson, I think, is that he has wandered for a while and been like, Mason isn't like seeking me out to tell me anything. I wonder why that is. And upon him like finally confronting them, been like, okay, so like should we talk? Because it's been we've been here a couple of days and you haven't really engaged me about anything. That is totally the first lesson for him, right? Is that like knowledge will not come to him. Like he cannot sit around and wait for things to be handed to him. He must take it. He must come and he must come to me and ask for it, or I will not have time to give it to him. And I will not have the inclination to do so. That is like the very first like foundational thing before we have the first conversation is that lesson being imparted, right? There is no such thing as just waiting around for things to improve.
I think throughout this whole like he always does his blank stare thing, right? It's always really hard to tell whether like anything anyone's saying is in one ear out the other if he's actually like
listening.
He's just, and it's even more evident because he's not wearing his helmet anymore, right? So he's just like looking at you with this blank stare.
So you have come to me finally. Good for you. You come with questions then.
You're role-playing this, Sam.
What are we still doing in this tower? I thought we were going off to some mission, you said that my path was still to help stop what is to come.
Your path can be that, should you choose to. I do not make the presumption of telling you what your path will be, not unless you ask me to predict your future, in which case I will probably refuse.
Maybe a better question is why I'm here.
Why are you here? You were the one who decided to stay.
You were the one who convinced me, and yet you sit up here in this tower, reading, doing nothing.
Is reading the same as doing nothing to you?
Pretty much.
Have you been doing a lot of reading?
No.
What have you been doing instead?
Training.
Why do you train?
So that when someone comes to kill me, they die instead.
Good. So why are you here now, seeking knowledge instead of training?
It seems foolish for me to stay here and never speak with you. And since you've made it very clear that you are not going to summon me to your presence, here I am.
That's wise of you. There is so very many things in this world, my friend, that you could do well to know about. And yet for all... That's true. Pupil. That you could do well to learn about. All the same, maybe that road is not for you. I'm not going to tell you what road to wander, but I will teach you the path of strength. I will show you, should you ask me to, The difference between the man the others meant to make you and the man you were always meant to be. The man that you can craft for yourself by your hand, or the man that you can be satisfied with as you are. There are lessons of strength. There are lessons of self. These are lessons that I assume you know well, but incompletely. And then there are the lessons of power and the lessons of wisdom. Of these, you know nothing yet. In time, perhaps you will step onto those paths, but it will be on your time. I will not force you. But when you come to me seeking answers, you should come to me with questions.
Fine, then. When are we leaving this tower?
We're leaving the tower soon. I mean to find out what lies to the south. And I mean to find out what carries me to the Valley of Fire. From then, the gods, and Mason says this with like acidic sarcasm, the gods only know.
I don't think he picks up your sarcasm. I mean, he still believes in the gods, but I think it kind of like goes over his head a little bit because he hasn't spent as much time with Mason as other people have.
I get that you seem restless.
When you recruited me to your cause, I thought that there was a cause, a mission, something to do. Here I am, sitting in this tower.
And have you been spending your time training so that when something comes to kill you, you may kill it first?
He rolls his eyes at you, repeating his words back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I can train on the road.
But I cannot read on the road, not while all of this remains here. When my purpose here is served, and I think Mason asserts himself a bit here, when my purpose here is served, I will leave. You are free to leave at any point before then, but I don't think you will. You have seen recently that there is a different world for you. But it does require an insight and a discipline that you do not yet possess. If you will stay with me and learn it, that is for you to do, and it is your decision to make. If not, I wish you the best.
Sitting and waiting for you to decide what comes next for me. How are you any different than the ones who I've followed before you?
I will not teach you what to do. I will teach you what might be and leave the choice to you. Understand something. You decided to leave the service of your brethren for a reason. It wasn't an evil reason. You decided to stick by the values that you have always known to be true. If you will continue to do so, to stick to the values of chivalry and altruism, righteousness, honor, upstandingness, loyalty to family and to realm, should you choose to do so, that is for you to do. But I can promise you that in the time you will spend here, I will start breaking away at your barriers. You will grow stronger for it, or you will perish.
So is there an intent here? Because
no, I mean, he's the one coming to me with questions. So okay, I guess if that can be said to be an intent from Mason here, it is to be to see what Sidomir will do. Ideally, I guess, would be to enlighten him to the value of Mason's ways. like instill him in patience.
Because like the funny thing is like you called on like why he left, and the specific reason why he left is like that Aurelius wanted to like stay friends with you even though you're becoming a dragon. So
well, also
like
that.
I'm not really sure.
So
no, that was the entirety of the argument.
No, there was also the issue where you were like, you need to decide now whether you will remain like a Cytomir of House Magna, or if you will become Cytomir, the Radiant Knight, whatever. And like you should do so. And Cytomir was not having any of it.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot that it was just the start of the argument that climaxed to that. It's been a while.
It has been.
I mean, I don't know. Like Zitomir is not the type of person that like goes and asks people for like secret knowledge, right? That's like not really his thing.
No,
he's like
that's already trying to learn
to do things his entire life. So like he's not just gonna like start asking you questions and throwing intents at you. That's kind of where I'm at.
I guess that makes sense. So I guess maybe Mason sees this on him, right? Realizes that he's a different kind of canvas, and says to him, "Very well. In the main hall down below, when we first entered, there is a central brazier. It's currently not lit, but it could be. Why don't you go outside, gather wood, light a fire in it, and you can come to me and tell me once the embers are burning white, but the flames are burning low." And one, like, just to lead on from that, if and when he does that, Mason is gonna teach him to tell him to go down and punch the fuck out of it, and do like pain training, basically, right? Like he's like, this is a different canvas. I can't teach him like, you should use your mind and become great using your mind for mind things. Like this guy needs a different approach. So first of all, the discipline to follow through with things that sound weird and bullshitty.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a fire, he'll go shoulder his axe and go cut down some trees.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, you need to start getting those training montages up, right?
Yeah, right. Like that's I guess what I'm cutting into here, right? It's like, okay, so different touch here. Let's start out by just having you do pain training. You need to get a different relationship to what that is.
Yeah, I don't think that he would like need you to test against him for that. Like he's willing to follow your orders. Cool. He just doesn't really understand what it means to like be a pupil. He just thinks of himself as like he's always been like in service of somebody throughout his entire life. He was a page, then a squire, then a knight, you know.
Which is what he's learning. Yeah.
I think over the span of time,
not do that.
Yeah, I think over the span of time that Mason spends with Zitomir, like researching, like all the downtime scenes we don't see of them conversing, of them eating in near proximity of each other and so on, is Mason teaching him a la Pavlov's dog, like that curiosity like gets rewarded with answers, right? Like even though he is not like, I am a seeker of secrets, he learns that to like getting something from Mason means asking them, right? Like you get stuff when you consult them.
Instead of just waiting around for orders. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Then we're going to go to our first break, and we'll be back in 6 minutes, guys. So see you on the other side.